Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast.
That's GOAT for what's up, guys.
So today we got our first fan submitted Brant Steele season idea, and it's GOATs, the greatest of all time, versus the GOATs that you bring to the end to beat easily.
Which I don't know why the Survivor community just adopted this. You know,
Yeah.
especially since GOAT is very commonly used, and not just in all regards of
Yeah.
any like in any competitive thing or any like skill based thing. And then, I know a few people that were even confused about that. I was like, why do people refer to bad players as goats when they're not that great? Um,
Yeah, it would make way more sense if they were sheep because that's like what you typically,
Sheeple.
yeah,
Yeah.
you consider like a sheep someone that you bring to the end because they follow you, that they're a follower. And I feel like that's a lot of goats end up being followers, but I guess there are some power goats, which we'll get into. There are a few people who I think are just they get to the end, they maybe did some good strategic things, but like they just burn so many bridges that there's no way that they would ever win a jury.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Like they're great players, and it's tough to call them goats because for me, it's like, well, like they have zero chance of winning, or like it'd be very shocking if they actually won.
Mhm.
So, like when I first made my list, because I didn't quite understand the full criteria, or I glanced over it. Either way, my fault. I brought three undeserving winners, in my opinion, that I thought were goats. Mike Gabler was one of them because I don't know thing that win still just baffles me to this day. Not that it wasn't like years ago. It's still pretty recent, the most recent one. Uh, like I was like, because like my thing when I was going to choose goats, the bad goats, um, I was like, all right, who am I going to bring that I can also kind of root for? Because the thing is, goats don't make for, or like, they kind of fall into Survivor and whatever. I'm just saying
Anonymity.
anonymity, where they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, we don't kind of talk about them or remember them that much, uh, or like you forget what their names are or
Yeah.
whatnot. Um, so like I was trying to bring some more iconic goats, and three of which were winners, and then Joe was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
The criteria literally from the person who gave this idea was greatest of all time and goats who have no chance of winning.
but some of those did.
Yeah.
Early, all right. But anywho, we're here now, and then by that we brought two people that has not been on the channel before.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll
I
get.
realized, we probably should have had Nora in our goats thing. I just thought of that now. Nora would have
Here's
been
the
great.
thing. Also making this list, I wanted to consider two-time winners.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I don't want to have Nora have the possibility of being amongst the ranks of some of our best players, being Regina George, Parvati Shallows, who we have right
Yeah,
here.
she could be a
Uh,
three-time winner here.
yeah, so like I was like, I don't, by the off chance Nora makes it to the end and whatnot and wins, I don't want her, because being a two-time winner is so special to us and special to this channel.
Yeah, and
And
her
we
for her
want to
win
celebrate.
is kind of like almost an asterisk win because it's the Hunger Games season. Like she got a win, but like it wasn't like a real like Survivor playing win.
Regardless of that fact, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, though the odds of her winning, it was like we had 48 people, and the fact that she made it out of 48 people is still pretty good.
yeah,
Um, if we did the calculations of like best averages and whatnot, it would still semi work in her favor. But that asterisk means so much. But that's the thing. And I mean, we have plenty of like one-time winners or two-time winners here, but we don't want it to fall into the hands of someone where we'd be like, because that just ruins it for, you know, people that have played so well,
Yeah, yeah.
that have earned the
Yeah,
two.
our two-time winner streak so far is pretty good. Like it's all females, but they all, deserve to have that rep.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't want it to be sullied by by bringing someone that I wouldn't be happy being a two-time winner.
Mhm.
I think it's okay to just shelve Nora for a while because I was thinking, even in my initial one, the time where I brought three winners, of bringing her in place of either not Amber, either Amber or Natalie. Yeah, I was going to bring either Amber, Mariano, or Natalie White,
Mhm.
but um, I was thinking her in place of one of them, but it just depended on the way. Anyway, let's focus on the people that are here and let's
Yes.
get started with this video. I brought the first person, and that is Chris Darty. He has been on our channel before. He has a win, if I'm
He
wrong.
does. He is a winner. I think it
Yeah.
was our 50th episode. I know he was on it. I think he won that one.
Yeah. I know he has one. And, why I think he's one of the greatest of all time. It won. I, Part of the thing is like, all right, I don't want to bring everyone from the top 10, Russell Hans list and stuff like that, because it was starting to shape up a little bit like that. And I was like, no, let's mix it up a wee bit. Um, so I wanted to bring Chris partially because of that, and also he went from a guaranteed like being out at six because like there was a pagonging of all the guys, and he was able to turn it around and win favor with like a jury where some people weren't too keen on him winning, and he went from like an impossible position where he messed up the very first challenge. He was on a team that didn't very much synergize well. And then the guys were getting pagonging, and he was able to turn it around. And I'd say a very impressive win. So I'd say underdog wise, he's a really good underdog winner. And so that's what gives him a title of GOAT.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, his that final seven onwards is like a master class on how to bullshit your way into the final two and then bullshit your way into getting the jury to vote for you. Like
Hooray for bullshit.
he does everything that the jury wants him to say and says it in such a way that seems so like real, but like it's very clear that he's saying exactly what the jury needed to hear, and
Yeah,
it's great. It's a great final tribal, great final seven. Like how he's able to just completely destroy that female alliance.
exactly. Exactly. So that's why he's here.
Yeah,
Will he be a two-time winner? We'll see.
we'll
We will
see. We'll
see.
see. Okay, next up we got Sari Fields, who is, I mean, one of the top goats of Survivor of all time. Her game in Panama, she's so close to managing to win. Her game in Micronesia, yet again, if there weren't those medevacs, there's a good chance she wins that season because it would have been a final three. With her, Parvati, and Amanda, and what it does seem like the jury would have voted Suri in that situation. So it's very
Yeah.
possible that Suri wins Micronesia. Obviously, heroes versus villains. She goes out a little early by a Tom Westman idol play. And then
That didn't
has one of the
happen.
greatest, like, I mean, it's controversial moments in Game Changers, but like one of the most iconic moments of her
Yeah.
going home with no votes against her because she's the only option.
Yeah, that was I remember watching that moment, and granted it was like after work, a closing shift at Starbucks, and I've perfected what I call a silent cheer or a silent scream, where all the enthusiasm and the is there, but I don't let the air escaping to me to go through my vocal cords, which is another thing that's like it's like basically and I always remember doing that like what and all that stuff, not trying to wake up my roommates. such an iconic moment in Survivor, and I'm glad if she went out that season that it was something iconic, because I'd say
Mhm.
going into that finale, a lot of people will even say that depending how things may have happened, she could have won, or at the
Yeah.
very least finally made it to day 39.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it's a Survivor what if. But on our channel, she is a winner. She is very well known on our channel for making alliances, breaking alliances, and still making deep far runs.
Yeah,
So
she's a backstabber. Like she will join an alliance just to leave at the next episode. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see if she's going to continue that streak or if she's going to actually try to play a loyal game.
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, she has very stiff competition on her tribe.
Hmm.
And yeah, she's even on the same season. I don't know, like the same season where she had her iconic boot. So who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. This is on Game Changers, so remember if there's any tie votes, they go straight to rocks, even if it's like a chaotic
Wait,
like
Ty's not in this season.
what?
Ty's not in this season. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, just I'm interested to see because sometimes the Brant Steel Simulator doesn't account for this twist, so they'll have people still voting in those
Super
situations, not
quiz.
really aware of it.
All right. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Denise Stapley and or Stapley.
Mhm.
Anywho, part of the reason I put her down as a GOAT is for a couple reasons. One, she's the only contestant to have been to every single tribal council in her respective season, as well as winning the same season, which is very impressive on its own. And
Mhm.
not only that, she always seems to be targeted or one of the targets, but is very cool, calm, collective, and is able to get through it. And for someone who is a GOAT on this team, which debatable, but I understand why. She is the Queen Slayer. And if someone can take out one of the biggest things, not only that, but you know, pretty much took Sandra out with her own idol and stuff. Not know, like stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
you gotta have to have her in some high regard.
Yeah.
And consider Denise being like a really strong player as a result.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, in Winners at War, remember in episode one, her and Adam were immediately ostracized from her tribe. Like they were the two
Yep.
that were immediately put on the bottom. Yet somehow they managed to work and wiggle their way back into the good graces of the Boston Rob tribe at the time. And managed to, she ends up making a very deep run, getting final six on that season. So definitely a good player. I think she definitely deserves to be here.
Yeah. For our brand seals, I don't think she's ever really had a standout performance. I know I bring her a lot, just because she is one of my favorite players, or at least in the top 20 players.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Awesome, awesome.
next up, another choice of mine, we have JT Thomas. And, it's one of the things where I know he's had diminishing goods each time he came out. But if we're talking about best first season, he undeniably had like one of the best games out there.
Mhm.
Um, Also one where I'm starting to see a little bit of theme with the first three, actually could be argued four players. Well, no, with four out of the five goats I have, they have somewhat of an underdog edge to them.
Mhm.
JT in his first season, his team was not doing too hot, but he was able to make it to the end. One with being such an asset to his team, and two, like the other team just being so like resentful of each other, and then they were cannibalizing each other. And he had a great alliance with Stephen Fishback.
Mhm.
And his like that's why so many people were so hyped about JT back in the day. Some people still are big fans of JT, and I understand why, but
Mhm.
the diminishing goods. But if we're talking about like very first season. He's also someone that won, with all jury votes, which is sometimes hard to accomplish,
Yeah.
even if it's, like sometimes there's one person's like, no, I'm not voting for you. Everyone loved JT, and then JT won. So yeah, for
Yeah.
that, he's a GOT. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and, don't count out the heroes versus villains. Like, even though obviously he plays not as good as he did in Tocantins, I mean that he still has one of the biggest moments in Survivor in that where he gives Russell the idol from the cross tribe. Like, it's a dumb move in retrospect, but like there is like if it did work, you do have to remember if it did work, it would have gone down as probably the greatest move ever in Survivor
Yeah,
if what had happened went the way he thought it was going to happen. So like even though yeah, it seems stupid now, you still got to remember like okay well he was trying he's a
perspective.
game player like he is not someone who's just going to sit there and let the game happen around him.
Agreed. Like, and that's one thing you got to look, even in Game Changers, like
Mm-hmm.
he was still willing to do stuff. Like he's part of the reason why we got one of the first big whispering things ever in that double, that joint tribal council and stuff. He was like a
Yeah,
very big focal point on like the chaos that ensued in that episode. So, JT has done a lot for Survivor. And,
exactly.
he did play a really great game his first time around. So
Yeah.
we got to give him credit.
Yeah, like that's I think that's the reason why his it seems like he has such big diminishing returns, especially is because he had literally the best performance like you could really imagine yourself having on Survivor.
Yeah.
Like and now you're going back into all-star seasons with people who have played the game who are legends. It eventually becomes a little more difficult to perform as well as you did in a newbie season.
Yeah. He was the golden boy, but like,
Yeah.
it puts him on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got JT.
Exactly. So yeah, there's JT. This next one is maybe a bit of a shocker because he was just on the recent season. So some people might be like, "Oh, he's he hasn't been around long enough. How could he be one of the greatest of all time?" But I mean, he had a crazy, ridiculous game on Survivor 43, making pretty much every move on the season. Like it was him and Cody were basically controlling the game all the way until he makes the big move against Cody to take him
Yeah.
out to make it so that now it's like, okay, now he can win if he can just get there. But I mean, his real downfall, I think, is that final five. I think he just missed. He thought that he didn't need Carla. I
Yeah.
think he was okay with if Carla goes home, whereas there's just no real scenario of him making it to the end without Carla, in my opinion.
Yeah. And like he was aware of that at first, but Carla did not want to play ball.
Yeah, yeah, she was like, "No, I'm
Um,
taking you out." Which, to be fair, Carla
exactly.
needed Jesse in Final Four too. Like, it wasn't just Jesse needs Carla; it was like they both needed each other to go into
The
fire
double
against each
threat
other.
shield.
Yeah,
Yeah. The double threat shield. Which is one of the best ways if you are a threat to play the double threat shield.
uh,
Because the thing is with Jesse, I do think he's um like obviously yes, you do want to see how he plays in other seasons as well to really get a gauge of how he plays. But, if we're talking about his performance, yeah, he only fell short in one category, which is challenges.
uh,
And we already, know that that doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad Survivor player. One of
no,
the two-time winners on this channel, or like not on this channel, on this, in Survivor is Sandra Diaz-Twine, and she has never won an immunity challenge.
exactly.
Um, so it's not necessary to win um, these challenges. So, like, I still think Jesse did a phenomenal game. I think, given what was there, he took out Cody at the right time because Cody
Yeah,
was a challenge threat in a series where he had already had a lot more challenge threats that he had to face off
hmm
against. Like, I think what was it at 6? I know definitely everyone had one immunity win under their belts. Uh, Trying to think who was at 7th.
Seven was Sammy will goes out of seventh, and he did not have any immunities.
All right, yeah, but making it to the final 6, and everyone else had a immunity win under his belt, under their respective belts. So like he took out Cody at the right time.
Yeah,
Um, it was just like very hard to navigate, and it was the fire that got him in the end because he had
yeah,
that idol. Um, so he is a phenomenal player, one of the best, definitely in the top
yeah.
5 of
Yeah, he
players
got
in new
two
school.
idols this season, and he never found one of them. People
Nope.
gave him two idols.
It was like, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, and after the season, Russell Hantz, who was also on this tribe, put him in the same category as him, Tony Vlachos. Like he was considering him on that same level of like great players. So
Uh,
you're getting like
yeah,
the respect from other goats now. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
yeah,
Yeah. Man, we can talk about Jesse all the time. He
yeah.
is a really good. I have to do analysis of the past 3 seasons. We might. I think we're gonna do one after 44 of like, all right, since we have 4 seasons of new school,
Mhm.
what is basically the vibe of it all?
Yeah, what's the modern evolution? Where are we heading with it?
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm glad you chose Jesse, and it's nice because when we're talking greatest of all time, it's so easier to choose old school players or like
Mhm.
very well established players. So I'm glad we got one player from one of the more recent seasons.
Yeah, yeah, it might be a little bit of recency bias. Like if we did this after 42, maybe Omer is here instead of Jesse. But
I was thinking Omer a little bit, but
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Jesse, in my opinion, was the best player of the 40s so far, of the new school era. I think he's got everything you need of entertainment. He's got strategic play. He's good socially. Yeah, it's great.
yeah. All right, next we have Kim Spradlin Wolf. A lot of people, part of the reasons it's up there, yes, she had a very dominant win on her season. And I know like 24 may have not had the best cast. But the thing is, so many people model their game after Kim Spradlin Wolf.
Mhm.
Like when you see those entries, and if they're basing it off of let's say if they're basing off past players, you usually see Kim's name in the mix. Same with like Sandra sometimes or Kelly Wentworth. But there are some plays you see that. You see her name is at least one person says Kim on, on that little questionnaire they get.
Mhm.
So, and then also at Winners at War, she was like one of the biggest threats going in. And even with that threat equity behind her, still makes it, into the mid merge, which, not too bad in a very crazy season. So, yeah. Um, Also, I like Kim Spradlin Wolf. So, yeah, that's why I chose her. She has not had the best luck on our channel.
No, I know in one season she got like 27 votes or something against her. Like so she definitely has some she doesn't perform as well as she did in One World, but also One World was One World and people were willing to give her the money. So
Yeah. But, there is some,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, still, I think like even with that aside, she did get racked up quite a few wins on there.
yeah.
Not necessary to win Survivor to get the beast points, but it helps. It helps.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, people usually look at the top two most dominant games are Boston Rob and Kim Spradlin, and people usually actually put Kim Spradlin above Boston Rob because she's a newbie instead of
Yeah,
Boston Rob playing 4 times to do it.
that's fair. That's
Mhm.
fair. And funny enough, Boston Rob is not on this list.
No, I
I'm
considered it, but I just didn't. I felt like I didn't want to put him on.
yeah, I was like, yeah, oh well. Uh, next up, we have. Oh wait, this is your person.
Yeah, this is mine. We got Parvati Shallow, who is the OG queen of our Brant Steel. She is the first winner of our first ever Brant Steel and the first two-time winner. Um, and in actual Survivor, she's also a winner and almost a two-time winner. She almost took the win in Heroes versus Villains, but just couldn't quite do it. So yeah, she's a great player. She's great socially, great strategically, great physically. She's the triple threat, which makes her a big target sometimes early on.
Yeah,
But somehow, because she's so good, she's able to kind of wiggle her way through.
exactly. Yeah. And on our brand seal, other than the fact that, yes, she is a two-time winner, especially in our old school and stuff, she would normally make it to the finale.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'd say,
It wasn't until series two, I believe, until she finally gets voted out.
yeah, which was bonker. I think there was only one time she never made it to jury.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. She had one pre-merge exit, which was very upsetting. But yeah, besides that, she's just I don't know. She's built different.
yeah, she is built different.
Mhm.
And so I'm glad to have her on. And it's nice because, like, for a reminder, you guys get to vote on, our MVPs from each season. And that's all going to total up into our new All Stars 15. Am I right?
Yes.
So, yeah. So, you know,
She's
we could
already
have,
getting votes. I guarantee you there's someone right now in the comments typing Poverty Shallow as number one because they want Poverty to play again.
yeah, I can see it. The thing is, it's like, because this season, or like so far, there is someone who right now has a perfect record, two-time record. And I think Parvati wants to, be like, okay, let's take down Wednesday. Uh, you know, because right now she has the best score for a returning player.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And Parvati has challenged all the other two-time winners basically.
yeah,
She ends up coming in and being like, "Okay, it's my time." Like and I feel like that's why she agreed to do the season, She saw
exactly.
Wednesday perform and win on All Stars 14. She's like, "Okay, I gotta get my Survivor on again." And so here she is trying to get her way into All Star 15 because Wednesdays like definitely going to be an All Star 15. It looks like by the current votes of what happened in that season.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. But yeah, Parvati, we love having her on here. Um, so yeah, next up, you may be surprised, but I actually brought this person, Russell Hance. Um, Here's the thing. Whether you like Russell, you hate Russell, the thing is, he was the meteor, a big giant focal point in Survivor,
Mhm.
where if you look at things pre-Russell and look at things post Russell, it's a very, very different game, a very, very different show. And
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like, he established a new meta and what it was like to really play Survivor and did things where it was like, even our good friend Matt Pat, wink, wink. He said on this one thing for, I believe it was Film Theory,
Mhm.
because for like stuff about 2016 election, we're not going to get into that, but he did mention Russell Hance
Yeah.
in the sense of like he took rules that he was like, all right, but do I really need a clue to try and find the idol? Like, which no one really thought to assume that before, or like, oh wait, like, or at least to our knowledge, no one ever tried. And so like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna look for the idol without a clue. And then not only once but twice in his first season he did that. And pretty much him being amongst these legends in heroes versus villains and then being like, okay, they know nothing about me, and pretty much doing the same thing but
Yeah.
with high caliber players, and still making it to the end. um and then also him being such a big threat that, his team threw a challenge just to get rid of him.
Uh-huh.
Like, because they were like, no, we can't allow this man to do anything. Or and even in Australia, Survivors like, no, we can't allow this man to be in
Yeah.
this game for
He,
too
he he's
long.
literally not allowed to play anymore. Like maybe they'll let him on the show, but he's not allowed to play anymore. Like they
No.
are just going to get rid of him. And he has said if he ever plays, like he essentially has to do what Sandra actually does and just anyone but me just basically play very safe because if he shows any inkling of strategic playing, like they'll just turn on him.
Now, I feel like he has to do more so of what Tony did in Winners at War.
Yeah.
He has to be like basically be on parole, basically.
Mhm.
Always make sure he's in everyone's sight. I'm a good boy. I have been changed. I have been humbled by my stuff, which no one's going to buy that. But like, I
Yeah.
think that's more of his best things because Sandra was still influencing the game in like Winners at War and Game
Yeah,
Changer.
I'm not. I wasn't talking about those because she tries playing the game in those
Yeah,
2 seasons. I was more just talking about her 2 winning seasons of where she kind of just lays very low, and essentially gets to the end, and is like, hey, I somehow got here, and all these big threats ended up actually going out. So I guess I'll get the win now. Um,
yeah.
but yeah.
Okay. We'll see. It's funny on a Facebook chat group I'm in. They were saying, "Do you think we'll ever see Russell and Tony on the same season?"
Mhm.
Maybe not an actual cyber, but we do get to see them in our Brance deals.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Because I,
Russ,
I think
yeah.
Tony has basically said he doesn't want to play Survivor again.
I mean, as a two-time winner, and also you're a millionaire, basically.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think there's a
it's really
chance maybe if season 50 is like a huge season, they might be able to talk Tony into it. Like Tony feels like someone who will say no, but then if like a big season came up and it was like, hey, we got like another season full of people as big as Winners at War, he might be like, okay, you know what?
maybe.
Let me go out and do it.
Because I think Jeff even said, when he was even building like Winners at War, he had to
Mhm.
sweeten the deal because he was like, all right, with 2 million, that'll be a lot more incentive for,
Yeah.
contestants to come back. But
Yeah.
um
Yeah, and the price for every person had to go up like a lot. Like the first boot of the season, or I know Natalie goes out, but technically Amber gets the first boot money because of Natalie coming back into the game. Uh,
yeah,
Amber still got 25 grand for just
not
being
chump,
for being out there for 3 days and then being on the edge. So
not chump change, not chump change.
yeah, yeah. Whereas a typical season, you would have gotten 2,500.
Yeah. And yeah, to get back to Russell for a sec. Thing about Russell on our brand seals, he has done pretty well, but he has never won, kind of mirroring his real life counterpart. Um, could he, in this time around, we'll see, but stat cast, he has a 1 in 20. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's Russell. Moving on next to someone who's been on our channel like once or twice, like very rarely, because to be fair, we're not big Sandra Diaz Twine fans.
Nope.
Like, we enjoy when people, are winning the game and they're the ones kind of in control of a lot of the strategic talks and everything, and not just kind of like letting a lot of things happen around them.
Zach Werderbergen keeps giving me shit for when we ranked Bob above Sandra.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, wow, really? Even at the 43 finale party, and even when I posted on Instagram of like, the picture of me with some of the contestants that were there, he keeps mentioning it. But it's like, yeah, we like the driving seat winners. I
Yeah,
mean, there is, Sandra did win twice, and there's no disputing that. No matter how you shake it, the jury voted for her to win twice. So
yeah,
there is merit to how she played the first 2 seasons.
yeah.
However, it's tough to really say if she was like a backseat winner. There
Mhm.
was a thing in Heroes versus Villains where it did seem like she was kind of like going towards the heroes and kind of like fighting against the villains in a sense, but the heroes never fully adopted her. And so,
Yeah.
like, it kind of helps when it came to that jury phase of like, okay, well, Sandra wasn't in the cult of Russell Hantz.
Yeah.
So like there was a bit more gameplay in that sense.
Yeah.
Um,
And with Heroes versus Villains, a lot of the jury apparently didn't believe Parvati actually was playing a good game. Like they thought
yeah,
that she was just kind of saying now that she was playing a good game. So a lot of people actually, after they watched the season, said that they would have voted Parvati over Sandra.
yeah.
That they actually regretted doing that. So
Whoops.
yeah, so yeah, yeah, there's a little bit of that, but at the end of the day, she is the first ever two-time winner. She's the queen of Survivor. So I felt like, hey, let's get her out here, let's give her a chance. I'm
Yeah,
always willing to give someone who everyone thinks is amazing a chance to really prove themselves.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see with
Yeah.
Sandra.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we just talked about the Queen of Survivor. Time to talk about the King of Survivor. We got Tony Vlachos, who does what Sandra does, but does it with the way that we like seeing winners play, where
Yeah,
they are controlling the game. They are, they have a bunch of strategic moves where you can say, "Wow, look at all of these like moments that are like crazy, yet somehow they managed to pull it off." And Tony has managed
exactly.
to do it twice.
Yeah, like if you guys are watching our channel, you know his resume in Survivor.
Yeah. I
One of
mean,
the
he's
best.
he's he's probably the greatest Survivor player we've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
just hands down.
yeah. I mean, like Game Changers humbled him a little bit,
Yeah.
but like in the sense of like two-time winner, also winning the Winners at War season, and off of like a cusp of like having like a Tony reputation too. So he had to
Yeah.
do a lot of damage control in the beginning. Um, and so, yeah, Tony is just such a phenomenal player, the best we've ever seen, as you said. And it's hard to argue that he isn't.
Yeah.
Indisputably the greatest of all time. And on our brand steel, he has one win, but he's made it pretty far a lot of the times we brought him. So, like, if he's the first male contestant to be a two-time winner, I think would be on board with that.
Does Tony have a win on our channel?
Old school.
I have the list here. I don't see his name.
He's not.
He does not.
What?
Yeah, he is not a winner.
Okay, he's overdue then.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is definitely overdue.
Yeah, exactly. He's made a few close to goes. I know he's made it to like final five a few times. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He has yet to win.
Yeah, because you pretty. I know our track record for everything, but you keep track of the winners. So like
Yeah.
the
I
fact,
literally have a Google Docs of every winner that we have.
yeah. So like I trust that Google Doc. It's very accurate.
Yeah.
That's insane. Well, yeah. Now I already know who my number one pick on this team is. It has to
Mhm.
be Tony because he just needs
He
a
needs to
win on our
win.
channel. Uh,
Exactly. So
yeah.
yeah, that's the greatest of all time tribe. Time to go over to the losing the no chance tribe. um
Scream and go.
okay. Starting here with Albert, who on his season of South Pacific was pretty much just constantly belittled and put down at every possible chance that they could. Sophie was constantly kind of talking down on him. Coach was, he had a terrible final tribal. But I believe he got a couple immunity wins as well on that season. But he also he's one of the people to talk someone out of an immunity
Yeah.
necklace. he got Brandon Hands to give him the necklace, which is a crazy move, yet I feel is forgotten that Albert is the one to do it.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is with the South Pacific, not a lot of people like that season.
Mhm.
Also, Sophie gets a lot of the glory, Sophie Clark,
Yeah.
for being like the underling that ends up winning. And then also Coach. So Albert kind of gets, yeah, he kind of gets shoved aside a lot. But yeah, I feel like, uh, it's always tough when you're one of the people being dragged to the end. You don't always get a lot of love, but like, uh, I'll say the fact that we're with the goat thing, it is going to be tough to say a lot of stuff about them.
Mhm.
There's like a couple where I have some more things to say about, but like Albert, unfortunately, it's just Albert.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, this is actually a weird instance where I think everyone on this tribe, the greatest of all time tribe, they want to be the last person standing on this tribe and sit at the end with probably two of the people over here. I think that's just going to be everyone's game plan on this tribe.
Yeah. Um, I think also the thing is also with this tribe, I think we have 4 or 5 people because I'm not sure about Laurel, but we have at least 4 people that have never been on our brand seals before.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like we've tried to make this tribe like a little more of the some new faces to kind of get brought into here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
which
mean, it
I
was
think is
tricky
good.
because we want to get someone who stands out. At the same time, it's hard to get someone who stands out for a title goat where you're just brought to the end because it's like, what do you bring? I think you did a much better job than I did, TBH.
I don't know. I like some of your picks. I think it's gonna be good.
All right, so I guess that's all we have to really say about Al.
Yeah, that's Albert right there. Let's move on now to Angelina Keeley, who was a highlight, in my opinion, of David versus Goliath,
Agreed.
and was someone who was clearly going to get brought to the end to lose. Like, she burned so many bridges on that season. Like, no one respected her game.
Yeah,
But she had so much entertainment value on that season. Like she was hilarious in confessionals. She constantly was, being so obviously fake, like with the whole Natalie jacket Gates
yeah,
situation. Um yeah, she just brought a lot of entertainment, was a great villain. We don't have a lot of modern day villains, and I think she was a modern day villain.
yeah. She was great. Fun fact for those who don't watch White Lotus, apparently she's on an episode.
Mhm.
Uh, because Mike White was probably like, "Hey, you want to be on an episode on my hit show?" Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
believe Parvati actually was just finished filming for or she had filmed something also in White Lotus.
ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I
So
believe.
I need to start watching that show now.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard it's a great show no matter what. No matter how many Survivor contestants, it's still a really great show.
Yeah.
Um, one of these days. But yeah, Angelina, the thought just occurred to me. For those who watch Total Drama, she's like the living embodiment of Courtney.
You're 100% right. If
You know,
yeah, if they did total drama, they would have probably made Courtney even look like Angelina if they did that after David versus Goliath, I bet.
yeah, the thing is, it's like, who writes a letter to Jeff and like has a thing of like, okay, this is what we are going to do to barter and stuff like that. Um, she has a lot of great moments in David versus Goliath. She hasn't really shined on our channel because she's
Mhm.
one of the few people on here that we've had a few times come on this channel, and she, you know, she's like your Kim Spradlin Wolf. You want her to do well. You want her to
Yeah.
do well, but she just has not
I think she's made the end once, but
once.
not yeah, but not necessarily like a impressive making it to the end. Like she as what this tribe represents, I think she was brought there as a goat. So
Yeah, yeah. All right. But yeah, I'd say out of all the people here, except maybe Philip. She's probably the person I'm rooting for most.
Yeah, yeah. She's definitely going to be bringing the entertainment on this tribe, I think.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have another debut character, contestant, Cassandra Franklin from Survivor Fiji. Now, why I brought her? One, we haven't really one. I was like trying to think of like, okay, well, who's more of an iconic goat?
Mhm.
She's I feel like Dreams is a bit more iconic, but I was like, I needed another, female contestant. And also, she's one of the only contestants to be roasted on her footwear. One jury member, she was before the "What are those" meme came out. That Vine, she was roasted on her footwear by a jury member. It was like unnecessary and stuff. They were all going to vote for Earl anyway, but
Yeah.
someone took their screen time and was like, "What are those?" For Cassandra.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was hard for anyone when you got to the end with Earl to even seem like you might have a chance of winning that. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's yeah, Cassandra just kind of was in a tough situation. Her and Dreams, the two ending ones, like at Final Four, there's just no way either of them win. Like
no,
they're both probably zero vote finalists. Like if Yao Man gets to the end, Yao Man probably becomes gets all the votes and ends up winning the game
yeah,
with that.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, it was she was in a very tough situation where she just there was nowhere to go at that point.
no. Believe me or not, she was always on the have tribe, because
Mhm.
Survivor Fiji, they did the have not season. She was always on the have tribe, if I'm
Yeah,
correct.
I believe so.
So like she also had a very cushy way to the end as well. So like she didn't have to suffer like Earl did as well, because he was on the have nots early game and stuff like that. Or same with Yao.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah,
Okay. That's Cassandra. Let's see if maybe we have her teaming up with Sandra later on and we can have the Sandra
Sandra
alliance.
squared. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Jessica Sugar Kipper or Kuiper. English is weird.
Yeah.
Uh, and the thing is, it was like, it's funny. So on the same Facebook group chat I'm in, or group Facebook group page I'm on, and I think I like it in the sense where there's some people that are very old school, but there's a lot of people that are very new school, so you get a good balance. Someone has been running a poll for each season of like who is their favorite contestant, and Sugar won that vote for Gabon, despite Bob being a thing, or Kenny, or
Mhm.
Marty, or and it's like, come on,
Yeah. You mean Maddie, right?
Maddie. Anywho, so and I was trying to try to pick someone who's a bit more iconic. I mean,
Yeah.
she's the first boot in Heroes versus Villains, and plus that stuff with her and Randy was pretty hilarious. So I'm like, all right, Sugar, um,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah.
I even said on my little list that I sent to Joe, was like, because YOLO, why not?
Yeah. Sugar is the first goat here, which is considered a power goat because she actually is in control of a lot of the strategy on that season, but is just so bad jury management. Like she literally is like laughing at people. Like the episode that they're about to go home, like she's making fun of them. She's not putting herself in a good light. Like so that way when she gets to the end doesn't matter if she's was the one to kind of get those two with her to the end. Everyone hates her at that point, so they're
Yeah,
not going to vote for her.
exactly. Well, what you gonna do?
Yeah,
Sugar has been on our channel maybe once or twice, but not a standout performance.
yeah,
All right. Next up, I feel yeah, I have four in a row. Next up, I have Laurel Johnson, and she was good in her season, but the thing is, it was the Dom and Wendell, season. And
Mhm.
while there were some standouts and some cool moments throughout Ghost Island, she is ultimately a zero vote finalist where she was a tiebreaker too.
Mhm.
So I'm like, she's kind of an iconic zero vote finalist. So I kind of had to bring her.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. She if she just could have like fine if she had so many opportunities to make a move against Dominic and Wendell. Like the moves kept being there for her and Donathan, and they just kept not doing it and kept going with Dominic and Wendell. Like
yeah,
they just couldn't manage to make the move, even though it wasn't like a hard thing to really do. They just had to actually agree to vote against them.
yeah,
And yeah, it was just yeah. If she could have just made the moves at like final six instead of Donathan going out there, there's a good chance she actually could win that season. Um, but yeah, she just ends up kind of going with them and is brought to the end. And is a very easy person for both of them to beat, and kind of yeah, just the afterthoughts of the final three.
yeah. Um, Not sure. I could have, I might have brought her one other time, but if she did, she
Yeah. Yeah,
stand up.
I think she's new. I agree that there's a chance she's been on it once,
I
but
need to make another Google sheet, but it's like everyone who's ever played. That's going to
yeah.
take a lot of time for me to piss away
Yeah.
when I already have a bunch of other projects I do. But Ryan takes on big projects. And because it's for our channel, I might do that. But we'll see. Uh, so yeah, either way, Laurel's on this season and we'll see how she does. All right. Next, we have Mick Trimming, who
Well, he's feckless, remember Ryan? He's feckless.
feckless.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That's what Shambo told him at Final Tribal, that he is feckless, and Mick was like, "Feckless? What does feckless mean?"
He is, that's the thing. He shares a season with Russell on Survivor Samoa. He was elected the leader on that season on his tribe. The thing is, it's like he doesn't really get a lot of screen time,
Mhm.
except, like and then I was going to bring Natalie White, um, but, couldn't because of the criteria. And I was like, all right, let's have Russell have some a fellow Samoa alumnus to come on. And I was like, okay, we haven't had Mick before. Why not?
Mhm. Yeah.
Which I hate the fact that that's how I am for some of these contestants that I brought. I'm like, why not? But it's the ghost.
Yeah. Well, he was in Samoa in episode 1. He was elected and nominated the
Yeah,
leader of Samoa, of his tribe. And yeah, pretty much very quickly he's like no, I'm not, I don't want to actually be the leader, and I kind of just is just okay with not really being the leader anymore. Um
yeah,
as that role slowly shifted over into Russell's hands. Um
yeah,
and I believe feckless basically means just kind of like not just so not really with direction, or like wanting to do anything, like you're kind of just like go with the flow, almost like you're just kind of like I guess I'll just do that, doesn't matter.
yeah. That kind of describes Mick.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, he's like a doctor. Like he's supposed to be very smart. He should have some opinions on stuff, but it almost felt like anything that you said to him, he would be like, "Okay, I guess that's we're doing now."
Uh, you have to give some people from Samoa a break because
Yeah.
Russell just ate so much of the screen time.
Yeah.
He's like the biggest takeaway from that season.
He has like 80% of the screen time, I swear. Like it's
Yeah. So a lot of people kind of fall under that shadow. Like, don't get me wrong, the other tribe got, attention and they had,
yeah.
Russell Swan,
Yeah.
Laura. And
Yeah.
like there were some, decent enough contestants on there, but like it was the Russell Hantz show for season 19 and season 20. Well, it's Russell kind of took over season 20 as well, but
Yeah. Yeah, and don't forget this also. Going into Final Tribal, he was gonna win the season. Everyone on the jury was gonna vote for Mick instead of Natalie. And then at Final Tribal, they all decided to switch over to Natalie instead of Mick because of how bad Mick was performing at Final Tribal. But he was
yeah,
going into the season as the winner, or going into that tribal.
what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
So yeah, it's like he had it, but it just was just like the second they start questioning him, he's just giving all the wrong answers.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see how he does on here. I'm not expecting. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah,
tough having a goat tribe.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well, hey, don't worry. This next person is going to bring the entertainment on this tribe, and because we got Philip Shepard, who is he's been on our channel a few times and actually has had like a few pretty iconic stuff. I him and Francesca, I know have kind of teamed up actually on our channel in our early days. But I don't think he's been on the channel for a while. I think he was absent all of last series.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm excited to see Philip come back. He's going to be wearing his pink underwear, of course. He's going to be bringing all of his shepherdisms into this goat tribe.
nice. I mean, Philip Shepard. Check your winner list because I feel like he might have won a season.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure.
If
Um,
maybe because he may have done some deep runs, but I know
yeah,
he was pretty big in season one on or series one on our channel.
yeah, no, he hasn't won. But yeah, he typically makes it to like the merge and has like some kind of crazy moment or something on
Yeah,
our channel.
I'd say I'd say on this tribe, he's someone that I think has a lot more merit than some others,
Mhm.
or like people to root for. I know I'm spoiling my like who I'm rooting for lit or picks, but that's like 5 seconds of the video. But yeah, I like Philip. I think he's very entertaining, and yeah, he's famously a goat for being like Boston Rob's number two,
Yeah.
or
It-
number one
yeah.
after everything.
It felt like you have to I have either him or Natalie Tenorelli. Like you have to have them because they're probably two of the most well-known goats now because they were the goats that Boston Rob basically brought to the end.
Yeah. Um, and Philip is a bit more memorable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, and in Caramoan, he honestly he was in the possessed like in Redemption Island, he was definitely a follower goat. He was just kind of brought to the end by Boston Rob. But in Caramoan, he probably was more of a power goat because he was actually controlling a lot of that tribe, a lot of that game until you got the Three Musketeers in their idol
yeah,
play
the,
to take him
he
out.
he was like a figurehead leader. I mean, it was really Cochrane, but like Philip had kind of like a figurehead kind of leadership on him. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I,
I think Cochrane's game gets to shine because Philip goes
yeah,
out here. We're able to see most of the merge now with Cochrane actually being the one to play the game. Whereas before, I mean, you even I believe hear Cochrane say like it's pretty much Philip's way or the highway. Philip is making the decisions and no one's really allowed to question it. Otherwise, he's gonna take you out of stealth
yeah.
arrest or whatever.
And it's fun. And I think this is also fun to mention. If it wasn't for Philip, we would have never gotten a first boot returnee. Because, like, let's
True.
face it, part of the reason Francesca came back was because of her relationship with Philip.
Mhm.
And so, like, producers like, huh, we've never done this before. That's a first boot. Why not? And it's mostly because Philip made it to the end and he was so beloved for his kookiness. That they were like, hey, let's bring Francesca back.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like Philip is definitely going to be one of the more rootable people somehow on this tribe. I've never thought I would say that about Philip Shepard, that he'd be one of the most rootable, but yeah, that's Philip Shepard on the goat tribe.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on now to a Survivor 42. This is this tribe's modern day player. We got Romeo Escobar, who I think could be a good player if he didn't have almost everyone turn on him at
Yeah.
the merge. Because like right after the merge votes, pretty much everyone didn't want to talk to him, and Romeo was
Yeah.
essentially isolated. And instead of Romeo trying to maybe get in with everyone, he kind of just took it on the chin and just kind of leaned into pretty much no one wanting to work with him.
Yeah. Which
um but
it's ironic. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And honestly, though, yeah, I think out of all of this tribe, he has the best final tribal council of any of these goats. Like he goes in there, no one taking him seriously, no one even thinking about it, and
Yeah.
he actually has great answers, great like he's making the jury laugh. Like it would have been like it would have made sense honestly if instead of Mike getting the kind of one vote to give him the runner up. There's a chance Romeo could have gotten, like a stray vote or something to at least get him the runner up. Like his jury speech at the end was definitely, you know, something that most of these other people have not been able to do.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, thing is, kind of like what I was saying, like pre-merge, I say like he was the safest person on that tribe.
Mhm.
Like, Romeo, especially as the blue tribe was kind of dwindling, he seemed like at the really great power position. Like, he wasn't like, up front or one of the bigger players, but he was kind of like, okay, I know where everything is going. You know, Tori was kind of like, telling him stuff as well. So like I think, yeah, it was just luck of tribe chemistry that really did him in that when the merge came,
Yeah.
like it was tribe chemistry that really
Yeah.
screwed him over.
Yeah, I could really see him returning and having a much better game where he is like a seriously big threat to win the game.
Yeah.
But it really depends, I think, for him who he ends up getting with and not having people turn on him super early in the game.
Yeah. Um, because yeah, tribe chemistry or like just in general,
Yeah.
just cast chemistry
Yeah,
for like
I think
any
that's way
affiliate.
more important nowadays. The fact that we do three tribes of six,
Yeah.
like I was thinking this recently, like I feel like if the two of us were on a 10-person tribe, I think
Yeah.
we have a much better chance of making it very deep into the game. But I think with us both doing, if we were on a 6-person tribe, I could see us having trouble not being one of the first two people cuts. Like I
Yeah.
could see,
Because
yeah.
yeah, basically what we have seen, and I don't necessarily blame. I don't think it's fundamentally wrong because they can play it however.
Hmm.
But we do kind of see how it kind of plays out is there's like a power duo, and there's
Hmm.
someone that wants to like usurp the power duo, and then there's two people in the middle. And the two people in the middle could even be people that are on the outs. So it's usually like you end up in pairs in the beginning. And it's basically like I don't want to say rock, paper, scissors, which one has the power, but it's like it depends on what grouping you have or if you have a bigger grouping. And like tribe chemistry plays such a huge factor in the beginning.
Hmm.
Um, it's crazy because I was thinking about the same thing earlier today,
Yeah.
um, as I often do. Uh, I'm waiting for my Zoom call. I'm waiting for it. For Survivor, but I think February is the last like month you'll hear anything.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Yeah,
Have you gotten
exactly.
your Zoom
So
call?
no, I have not. It would be nice to get one, but it's
It
looking
will.
like not. I know that sometimes though, even if you are submitting for like this newest season, sometimes it takes like a year for them to even see your thing because they have so much like backlog. So even though
Yeah,
we might have been submitting for like Survivor 45 and 46, there's a chance that they're not even going to see our auditions until they're looking at Survivor 47, 48.
that's tough. I mean, it's tough. Like usually you're only allowed to put out one a year and
Yeah,
whatnot. Mostly because like, you know, you're supposed to only submit once a year. So like to think that that's backlog and basically like where I was last year to what I could potentially be um at, you know, later 2023 when a year does come around for that. Same thing with Big Brother. Even like when I did my Big Brother audition and then like a couple months later doing my Survivor audition, I did notice some different things. Like it wasn't a simple like copy paste. And it just goes to show how much you can change from that to where you are now. But yeah, digression aside,
exactly.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
that's Romeo Escobar. We'll see if his chemistry on this tribe is better than what he had on 42.
we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, last person for me on this tribe, we got Sherry Beethman. I think that's how her last name is pronounced. And Sherry is a very interesting goat because the pre-merge, she is actually a very strategic player. She takes Shamar, who is a another person who could have very easily been a goat on that season, and
Yeah,
says, "You're my goat now. Yeah, I'm gonna bring you to the end as my goat." Shamar goes out, and then the second they get to the merge, she immediately becomes a Cochrane's goat, and
yeah,
and is brought to the end just so Cochrane can beat her. um, so
yeah.
it's a very interesting like how she starts by trying to use the goat strategy just to become a goat herself.
You know, it happens that way. I will say, kind of like Cassandra, she also gets a little roasted in the final
Yeah.
tribal council, where you know she's like, "Yeah, I know I'm not going to win. You guys have made that very clear." Okay,
Mhm.
she has that little moment in there, and I will say, she was definitely a highlight of Kara moment, and I'd say, even though she was a goat, you know, it's tough to like stand out if there's so many returnees
Mhm.
in a season where there's also new people. But she was like a standout of the returnees, I will say.
Yeah, yeah. She
Or not the returnees
the
of the
fans.
fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's the last fan standing, which does have to count for something, I think.
yeah,
Um so yeah, that's yeah, I don't think Sherry's been on the channel either, so this I believe is her first go of it.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
So we'll see. Will
Yeah,
she be a star on our channel? Only time will tell. All right,
exactly.
last, and I don't think least, we got Troy Zan Robertson. I think he's been on our Hunger Games,
Yeah.
but other than that, I can't remember him anything else. Troy Zan is here because he had a much better edit in One World, and where I was a little excited when he was on the roster for Second Chance, and you know, it was a little hype that he was coming back for Game Changers.
Yeah.
But the thing is, other than finding an idol, he didn't really have, and then being a part of the Suri elimination, he
Mhm.
didn't really have any standout moments except for the fact where he was like at Final Tribal, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna win, and you know he's a good sport about it.
Yeah, yeah. He literally just like bows
Gave
out
up.
of the games. He's just like, okay, it's not happening here.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
yeah, he made it to the end and only had 13 confessionals on the entire season, which meant that he had less than one confessional per episode.
man. But you know, Troyzan, there's not really too much I can say. He did make it at the 100th spot on Russell Hantz 100 top 100 players of all time.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, I mean,
he
I think he's very rootable for in One
yeah,
World. Like, I think when he's on the game and doing, he has like a quick little mini run kind of being an underdog,
yeah,
which I think is enjoyable. That's probably the last like real enjoyable thing before Kim just ends up clearly running away with the game.
Yeah,
So like yeah, he had something there, but yeah, when it came to game changers, it was just like a very different Troyzan.
yeah. And I will also say, out of everyone that is on the GOAT tribe, he was only a GOAT in his second season. Well, Philip, you gave him the title of Power Goat and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I can
Mhm.
kind of see that. But like he wasn't a GOAT his first season, but then he just kind of sort of became the GOAT of game changers. So he does have that little distinction.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's Troyzan. We'll see if he can be more like his one world performance instead of his game changers.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
let's
righty.
start here with the greatest of all time. Who are your favorites?
I'm gonna say it's for people that haven't. Uh, it- I would be happy if some of these people won. Not gonna lie, but I would say the top three for me are people that haven't really won yet, which would be Kim Spradlin Wolf, Russell Hantz, and Tony Vlachos. But I kind of want to put Jesse up there as well because we
Mhm.
like Jesse. Jesse's really cool. So yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I think for me, I would probably do Jesse and Tony, and I'm gonna say Parvati. I think I gotta root for Parvati. I don't want to see her go out early. I want her to do a good performance here, so that way
same.
she can meet Wednesday at All Star 15.
Yeah, I agree. I may not want her to win, but I
Hmm.
am hoping she makes it far.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then what about the zero chance goats tribe?
I'm gonna say Angelina, Philip, and Romeo. I mean, like I feel talking about Romeo, even just like really discussing him, his he kind of got boosted up for me. I mean, I was already kind of thinking about him prior being like a really good choice for this, where he is a bit of a standout. He has more to his resume than some of the other people. So like yeah, Romeo as well. And then I'll yeah, kind of the same vein, talking about Sherry and really like analyzing her game pre-jury. Like I would say she's like a fourth place for me.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'd probably say Angelina, Philip, and you know what? Sugar. I'm gonna put sugar in that
You
as too.
freaking troll. You troll.
Well, Sugar is going to be a crazy great player. Watch her. She's going to make these goats become goats. Not greatest of all time goats. She's gonna make them look like these kind of goats.
All right, we'll see. All
Uh
righty.
okay.
So
Okay.
we
Let's
ready?
yeah, let's head into this. Um okay. So the opening twist, the Mana tribe wins reward. They win a toolkit, and Philip Shepard has found the legacy advantage.
Oh dear.
Now this is a curse for actual
Most
Survivor.
players. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see how that goes. No alliances on the Mana tribe, and no alliances on the Nuku tribe. So we're going into immunity with no alliances. And the Nuku tribe wins immunity. They also win Flints.
So we're gonna lose someone really big right now.
Yeah, we're guaranteed to lose a big player. Jesse and Tony bond slightly.
All right.
Chris and Kim have a minor disagreements, and that's it there.
Then I guess our guess is Chris or Kim.
Yeah. Albert is impressing the rest of the team. Sherry has a major meltdown, and Philip has a major meltdown. They're really acting like goats here.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
It's either Chris or Kim.
I'm gonna say Chris just because he's won already. That's really it. Okay. First vote goes to Russell. Second vote goes to Russell. Third vote goes to Russell. Fourth vote goes to Kim. Fifth vote goes to
Oh no.
Russell. Sixth vote goes to
Oh man,
Russell.
that's oh
Seventh vote
oh.
goes to Kim. Eighth vote goes to Kim. Ninth vote goes to Kim. One
Are they
vote
going to
left.
rocks?
And Russell
Okay, I was
is
about to
voted
say.
out.
I was about to say.
Wow, they almost went to rocks on
You
episode
don't
one.
do that. It's not, especially not for Russell.
Okay, so let's see. So Denise, JT, Kim, Parvati, Sandra, and Tony voted Russell. Chris, Suri, Jesse, and Russell voted Kim.
Man.
Okay, so Chris, Suri, and Jesse on the outs over there. And Suri finds the Mana Tribe hidden immunity idol.
Nice.
Okay, we'll see if she can use that. She was on the out, so she probably just immediately said after tribal, okay, I'm going out there and I'm not coming back until I have the idol.
Nice.
And Laurel finds the Nuku tribe hidden immunity idol.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
People are starting to play now. No alliances, but
No alliances
oh
as the
come on.
Nuku tribe wins immunity again. Wow. They also win a fishing kit with a raft waiting at the winning tribe's camp. Denise and Kim bond strongly.
All right.
Jesse has a major meltdown.
I would be too if I was losing to players we consider bad.
Yeah, and he was on the outs last time, so he's a potential target. Albert has a major meltdown. Laurel and Philip bond strongly. Maybe they're sharing their advantages with each other here.
Perhaps.
And that's it there.
Every time I see is having a major meltdown, in my head, I just picture them just screaming like, ah!
Yeah,
And it just
yeah, it's always the most extreme, just like freak out moments. Well, I think Jesse's going home here.
yeah, unfortunately.
First vote goes to JT. Second vote goes to JT. Third vote goes to Chris. Fourth vote goes to JT. Fifth vote goes to Chris. Sixth vote goes to Chris. Seventh vote goes to Chris. Eighth vote goes to JT. One vote left. And JT, the tribe has spoken.
Dang.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
No, but there's no alliances, so it's really hard to tell.
Yeah. So this time, Chris, Sheree, Kim, Parvati, and Sandra voted JT. Denise, JT, Jesse, and Tony voted Chris.
Man.
So Jesse yet again on the wrong side of the votes, though. I think he was the only one who voted wrong there from last time and doing it again.
Well,
Okay.
thankfully,
We got
he
a twist. Okay, the new Mana tribe consists of Chris, Kim, Mick, Philip, Romeo, and Troyzan.
okay.
So Chris and Kim are going to have to, prove why they belong as goats to get themselves out of that.
She would have been like, just look at my winners at war. I wasn't that great. Man.
And then the new Nuku tribe is Albert, Angelina, Jesse, Laurel, Parvati, and Sherry. So in this one, Jesse and Parvati are going to have to show why they belong as goats.
Oh gosh. And then
The new Tavua tribe, or the first Tavua tribe, Cassandra, Suri, Denise, Jessica, Sandra, and Tony. So This one is Cassandra and Sugar are gonna have to you know, getting good there.
Just
But I don't know. There's almost a good thing for these greatest of all time goats to just take out some of these greatest of all time to try to not have them potentially get to, near the end. So
yeah, I can just see just all of the greatest of all times just getting eliminated, and
yeah.
then I'm just me. It's like I lose all my favorite
Yeah.
things in
I
the
mean, we
beginning, and
got
then I'm like,
Tony and Sandra yet again on a tribe together. They have proven that they like flipping on each other. They are not they don't like getting to the merge together.
no,
they want to go against each other pre-merge.
well, they may have their wish.
Yep. Okay. Okay, Sugar finds the Tavua tribe hidden immunity idol. So Sugar has an idol now.
All right, so
And
two
she's gonna
idols
have to
on
go
this.
to a sugar shack.
Nope.
And the Mana tribe wins immunity. They also win a tarp and has a choice between comfort items or seasonings. Second place tribe wins. The first placers did not choose.
Okay,
And the Tavua tribe wins immunity.
we're losing another greatest of all time, aren't we?
Yeah, it's very possible. It's the Jesse Parvati greatest of
Yeah.
all time. No, no. Oh,
Yep.
oh, I don't want to move on. I don't want to see.
Gotta. We gotta. This is how you know that these are real.
Yeah. Kim and Mick bond slightly. Chris and Romeo find something in common. Mick and Troyzan find something in common. And a new alliance formed between Mick and Troyzan, the first alliance of the game.
Huzzah!
um, and no events occurred over here on the train to go.
Why?
No. Oh, I hate this. Okay. Cassandra is impressing the rest of the team. And Suri works hard at camp and becomes tired. Okay, I'm gonna say Jesse just because I don't want Poverty going home pre-merge.
I kind of share that sentiment. I mean, I would much prefer one of the goats go, not one of the greatest of
Yeah,
all
that would be
time.
preferable, but
I'm just like, I'm like Harry Potter saying not Slytherin in the Sorting Hat. I'm just like, no,
yeah,
not as great as all time. Not as great as all time.
yeah, it's like we should have seen at least Jesse or Poverty try to like do something, but they just kind of said, "Okay, this is just the reality we're in."
Yeah. Uh,
And first votes goes to Sherry.
so not all hope is lost.
Second vote goes to Angelina.
Okay, we might be spared.
Third vote goes to Angelina. Fourth vote goes to Angelina. And Angelina is voted out.
Well, I'm okay with it.
I'm
Unfortunately,
happy about it, but I am shocked. I
yeah,
am baffled. This is greatest of all times playing without even having to play.
yeah. Like, oh, Angelina's annoying you. Well, allow us to rid you of this nuisance.
Yeah, that is crazy. I'm actually pretty shocked there. That it just seemed so obvious that it had to be Parvati or Jesse. There's
Yeah.
nothing that happened. Like they didn't do anything. they, okay, I'm charging my computer real quick because it's about to die. Um, okay, well, that tribe has managed to do something there at least. Those greatest of all times managed to get the first goat out.
All right. It's not going to be. Sometimes I'd be so pessimistic in these. I've just been scarred too many
Yeah,
times.
well, I mean, when it looks that cut and dry, it's hard
Yeah.
not to be. Okay, moving on here. Okay, reward challenge. And the Nuku tribe wins reward. They win peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, cookies, and milk.
Nice.
And the Mana tribe wins reward. They win peanut butter and jelly sandwiches only. And who
Delicious.
wins immunity? The Tavua tribe wins immunity, so both losing tribes will attend.
All right.
Council as one group. Okay. Chris has joined the alliance of Mick
Okay.
and Troyzan.
It's gonna be like, bros.
Yeah, is the bro alliance.
Yeah.
um, Parvati and Sherry bond slightly as potential new Black Widow brigade of
Yeah.
Laurel, Parvati, and Sherry.
All right.
Is this Parvati's final three? Is she now just try to get to the end with two goats?
Yeah. And there's like, you even labeled them for me. It's
Yeah.
never been this easy
Yeah, you
before.
you told me who to bring pretty much.
Yeah.
uh, okay. Sugar and Sandra have a major fight.
They can afford to fight right now.
Yeah, and Denise and Tony bond strongly.
All right. So I think, well, I have to say the Nuku tribe is just screwed because, like, even if they go, all right, past tribe, there's Jesse and there's Parvati. I think this is where we say goodbye to Jesse because,
Yeah,
like, or even if they go with the new, it just does not look good for Jesse or Parvati, except Parvati has an alliance who can vouch for her.
yeah,
So I think,
yeah.
yeah, unless
Yeah, and
Laurel
Jesse's
plays her
honestly kind of
idol.
been on the. It seems like it should have been Jesse the last couple times. I feel like it's gotta eventually come true.
Yeah, unless Laurel strategically plays her idol, I don't really see Mono losing anyone because it just
Yeah,
makes zero sense.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's look into this. Okay, no idol is played. First vote goes to Albert. Second vote goes to Albert. Third vote goes to Albert. Fourth vote goes to Albert.
Well, who did Albert vote for?
Fifth vote goes to Jesse. Sixth vote goes to
Did they just say screw
Albert.
you, Albert?
And Albert is voted out in a 10-1.
Wow. I wasn't
Wow.
even trying. How?
They just didn't like Albert.
Well,
Wow. Yeah. So Albert voted Jesse. He wanted Jesse out, but just not. So another Nuku does go home there, but a bit more of an unexpected one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna turn off my here real quick. I shall be right back.
How's everyone's New Year's going? Leave us a comment down below. Mine is going all right. Been busy working, getting better and working actual work. But yeah,
Okay, I'm back. Okay, so Jesse and Parvati have somehow stuck around on this Nuku tribe.
plot armor.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great.
Though if
Okay.
they go again, it's hard to see. It's really hard to see
Do
Jesse.
they go to
Yeah,
rocks for
that
each
alliance.
other?
It's like,
I mean, yeah, Parvati's clearly gonna just flip on Jesse here.
yeah,
Okay, Nuku tribe wins reward. They win baked goods, iced tea, and milk. And the Tavua tribe wins reward. They win chocolate chip cookies.
both sound delicious right now.
And the Nuku
Okay.
tribe wins immunity. We do not have to worry about Jesse or Parvati. as the Taboo tribe also wins immunity, which means this is now Chris and Kim's time to
Yeah.
prove why they are great.
All right.
And Chris and Kim have a major
You
fight.
fools!
No. They have decided they don't need to go to the merge together. They are going to turn on each other and shove the other one under the bus.
You got to survive at least two more votes. Try and stick together because it's ultimately up to everyone else.
And then Chris leaves the alliance with Mick
So
and
Chris is
Poison.
just gone. You were in an alliance. You had somewhat of a shot. I guess bye. Bye, Chris.
And Laurel leaves the alliance of Parvati and Sherry. And Jesse joins the alliance. So Laurel has now been
Oh,
kicked out.
but Laurel has an idol, and if they go to tribal one time after this, that might backfire
Wow.
a lot.
Okay, that was a crazy alliances happening here. Cassandra and Denise find something in common as a new alliance forms between Cassandra, Denise, Sandra, and Tony.
Wow. Good for Cassandra for joining the Winners at War Alliance.
Yeah, and she works hard at camp and becomes tired. Okay, Cassandra, honestly, this was a good episode for you, I feel.
Yeah. Chris is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance it's Kim because sometimes I know they'll leave an alliance, but that episode they'll still vote as if they're an alliance. So there is that chance that he just left, but won't be moving forward with them.
That's fair, but I
Yeah.
don't want Chris. I don't want Kim to go.
First vote goes to Kim. Second vote goes to Chris.
Who's the tribe?
Third vote goes to Kim. Fourth vote goes to Kim.
Oh yeah.
And Kim Spradlin is voted out in a 5-1. uh, well, those
Well,
votes just did not want us. The greatest of all times did not want to stick together there. So,
I mean, dang. Oh, fudge muffins.
but we have another twist here as Romeo is exiled, um, and gets to choose between an extra vote, a kit for making a fake hidden immunity idol, or a challenge advantage for their new tribe. And he's choosing the challenge advantage.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so Romeo can't go home here, so he is safe as the new Mana tribe is Chris, Denise, Jesse, Sugar, Mick, Tony, and Troyzan.
So, I don't know. I'd say this is definitely very playable.
Yeah.
Um, Mick and Troyzan, they're the ones with the alliance. There's the Denise and Tony alliance.
Mhm.
And, I feel like Jesse is a new man. None of his alliance members are here. So, yeah, I'd say this one can go any number of ways.
It feels like Jesse has really been on the bottom of everything, and he's somehow managed to not go home, even though
Yeah.
he's seemingly he's always seems like an option at this point.
Yeah.
And then the new Nuku tribe is Cassandra, Suri, Laurel, Parvati, Philip, Sandra, and Sherry.
Okay. Few remnants of the alliance. I don't know. Laurel with that. Wait, hold on. Do I everyone? No. Laura has an idol. Suri. Oh, okay. So Laura and Cerise still have their respective idols. Philip has his legacy. Um, it's tough to really say. Parvati still has Sherry on this tribe. So yeah, we'll see how things kind of play out there. I still think anything can really happen. The Sandra. Oh, we do have the Sandra Alliance, Sandra Squared Alliance on
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. Cassandra and Sandra. Yeah, true. They are in alliance together.
So
Um,
All right.
Yeah, we'll see if that's holds strong here. Okay. Nothing. Okay. And the Mana tribe wins immunity. They are safe. Um, I'm happy that Tony and Jesse are safe.
Yeah.
Okay, Sugar and Troyzan bond slightly as Sandra leaves the alliance with Denise and Tony.
Okay.
Okay. And Cassandra leaves the alliance. Oh
I think
no.
it might be either Cassandra or Sandra.
And a new alliance forms yet again with Laurel, Parvati, and Sherry. They have formed their alliance again.
They just, it was a minor breakup.
Yeah, well,
It's like
it's because Jesse isn't on the tribe anymore. Parvati is like, dang it, I just kicked Laurel out for Jesse, and now he's over there. I guess let me try to get Laurel back in on this. And clearly, she'll trust them way less than the other two because she's at a 5.
hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, they just kind of booted you out, and
Yeah,
then now you're asking for help again.
yeah, you're the clear number 3 there.
All right. I
I'm
mean,
gonna
it's one of the Sandras,
yeah, I was
but
gonna say I'm gonna say Cassandra.
yeah, because that one seemed very more distinct.
Yeah. And
Oh,
Sharia uses her hidden immunity idol.
was it in vain?
First vote goes to Cassandra.
Yes, it was.
Was. Second vote goes to Laurel. Third vote goes to Cassandra. Fourth vote goes to Cassandra. Fifth vote goes to Laurel. And
Yeah.
Cassandra's voted out in a 5-2 votes.
Who voted with
Yeah,
her?
it was the Sandras sticking together.
Uh, so, well, we do have someone coming on to that tribe. So we have Romeo taking
Romeo's joining.
Cassandra's place.
Yeah. Though I don't know, I don't think this is a good spot for Sandra.
No,
I
I mean,
could still see her getting targeted next.
I don't think that tribe goes because they do have the advantage.
Oh
And I
yeah,
will
true.
say the tribes are pretty even, not just obviously because even numbers, but I do feel like they're kind of like even when it comes to like strength.
Yeah.
So also Sari played the is it Maka or Mana?
Mana.
Played the Mana one. So that idol should be back in play on that tribe.
True, true. Yep, it's currently hidden.
Well, they gotta find it because they have this is the last one before
Yeah,
the merge.
exactly. And the Mana tribe wins reward. They win 10 pizzas and cold soda.
Nice.
And the Mana tribe wins immunity. So despite Romeo's challenge advantage, it did not help them.
Does he find the
Chris
no?
is impressed with the team. No one finds this idol. As a new alliance forms between Chris, Jesse, Nick, Tony, and Troyzan. Is this
Fat
everyone
Five
but Sugar?
2.0.
Yeah. It's wait, this is everyone but Sugar and I think one other person. Um Denise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a bro
The
bro
Bro
alliance
Alliance says
2.0, the Fat Five 2.0.
oh my god. This is just Chris trying to be relive his Vanuatu days.
Exactly.
uh, okay. Suri and Romeo bond strongly as Jesse leaves the alliance of Parvati and Cherry.
He's like, yeah, bro alliance.
Yeah, he's broing down right now. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna stick with Sandra. I think Sandra goes home.
Yeah, it does not look well.
Mhm.
Maybe Suri.
Yeah. Laurel uses her hidden immunity idol.
Was it played correctly?
First vote goes to Sandra.
These people.
Second
Why?
vote goes to Sandra. Third vote goes to Philip. Fourth vote goes to Sandra. And Sandra's voted out unanimously.
Well,
What a bad idol play, Lord. What a
like,
bad idol play.
come on, guys.
I bet everyone looked so confused when she got up and played the idol. They were
Yeah,
like,
like,
why?
okay. All
uh,
right.
we are now at the merge here, the Maku Maku tribe. Okay, let's do our merge assessment now. Who are the standouts so far?
I would definitely say Chris is a standout,
Mhm.
got rid of basically I think he wants a dude alliance, all the way to the end. Um let's see who else. Jesse, he's hanging in there. He's had underdog, but now that he's with, the Fat Five 2.0, I feel like things are gonna go a bit more his way. I would keep an eye out for Parvati always. She is making moves, she's making
Yeah.
alliances. Um, and I would say those are the biggest standouts for me.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, I would agree with that. Obviously, like Laurel lost a lot of points that last episode with an idol play right before the merge. Like, if you're gonna
yeah,
waste the idol, use it on the merge because that can be at least a chaotic. Who knows what could happen? But like that was just a very clear cut. Let's just vote out Sandra before she
yeah.
gets the merge. So yeah, but yeah, I would agree. I think Chris, Jesse, Parvati are playing pretty good games. And yeah, haven't seen much really happening on the goat tribe. They're really the
I
the
wonder
losing
why.
goat tribe has really shown their goat potential.
Yeah. What else? We do have three winners, one of them being Parvati. So, it is they made it to the merge, so good for them. But we'll
Mhm.
see if they'll survive the onslaught, if we'll have a two-time winner or our first three-time winner.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see here. Maku Maku Tribe hidden immunity idol is still hidden. No one found it here. This is the biggest alliance here, so they might be in control. As Tony wins the first individual immunity,
Nice.
and Jesse and Laurel balling strongly. As Laurel leaves the alliance of Parvati and Sherry.
Oh my God.
Uh, and Denise rests at camp to restore her energy.
They're like that one high school couple. They just go, they're on again, off again.
Yeah. Watch 2 episodes from now, she's gonna join the alliance again. Or not even join the alliance. They're gonna make a new alliance, but just
Yeah,
have the three of them in it. Like
my God.
uh, okay, chaotic vote here. Um um I'm just gonna say Romeo. No reason. No, I have
No
no idea
reason.
on what's happening here.
I do think a guy might be if they have the what is it? If the Dude Alliance is really, really prominent, they might be like, all right, let's take out the Dude Alliance, Screw these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's possible to, maybe they would don't make moves though against the major guys, but trying to make it so that the guys can't work with the Fat Five 2.0 can't work with any of the other guys. So maybe
yeah.
that's how I'm kind of looking at it is people who aren't maybe in that alliance.
We'll see.
And Sugar uses her hidden immunity idol.
Will this continue the trend of these idols being played when no votes are cast against them? Or will Sugar break that curse?
Yeah, will Sugar somehow make the first correct idol play of the season? First vote goes to Sugar, does not count.
We'll see. We'll see.
Second vote goes to sugar, does not count. Third vote goes to sugar, does not count. Fourth vote goes to sugar,
Oh my
does
god.
not count. Fifth vote goes to sugar, does not count. Sixth vote goes to sugar, does not count. Seventh vote goes
One
to
of them
sugar,
did.
does not count. Eighth vote goes to sugar, does not count. And the ninth vote goes to Mick.
No.
10th vote goes to Sherry. 11th vote goes to Mick. 12th vote goes to Sherry. One vote left. And Mick is voted out and is the merge boot.
Good job, everyone.
Wow.
Good job, Sugar. Being the
Sugar.
first contestant this season to do it.
And at the merge, this is like Sugar now has a resume already by making a big move at the merge.
Did I doom us by doing that because YOLO thing?
Oh my god. Okay. Well, Parvati, Sherry, and Sugar voted Mick. Denise and Tony voted Sherry. And then we got Chris, Sheree, Jesse, Laurel, Mick, Philip, Romeo, and Troyzan voting Sugar.
Okay.
Okay, so good move by Parvati, Sherry, and Sugar. They managed to get the idol play and take out one of the Fat Five.
Well, Fat Four now.
Yeah, Fat Four now.
The
What was
Fantastic
Fat
Four.
Five? Okay, so now Chris, Jesse, Tony, and Troyzan. Okay, group number one is Sheree, Jesse, Philip, Romeo, Sherry, and Tony. Group number two is Chris, Denise, Sugar, Laurel, Parvati, and Troyzan. And group number two wins reward. They win a trip to Marshall's Lounge with a feast of burgers. Okay, and who wins immunity? Troyzan wins immunity.
Good for him.
Good for Troyzan. Okay, Denise and Philip have a minor disagreement, causing Philip to have a major meltdown.
He was like, ah!
Denise used her therapist tricks on Philip, and it was Philip just is so crazy that it went off inside of him. It was the worst thing you could do. You can't reason with crazy.
He gaslit. She gaslit him, and now he's like, ah!
The Fat Four has dissolved.
Oh.
And a new alliance has formed between Chris, Sugar, Parvati, Sherry, and Troyzan.
Okay.
So Chris has kept Troyzan, teamed up now with the Parvati Sherry duo, and brought Sugar in as well. Interesting. Okay. Who goes home here?
All right. I think I don't want to say it might be Phil. I think it's one of the. I think it's either Philip, Jesse, or Tony. I feel like we're losing another guy.
Yeah,
I
I think we're losing Philip here. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Philip.
It might be Tony because I don't want to say Jesse because he has a lot of gameplay left. But Tony, who still has an alliance with Denise, the Winners at War alliance. But I don't know. I feel like if they're still going, even though it's disbanded, they still might be targeting part of the Fat Four or Fat Five.
True.
Soon to be Fat Three.
Yeah. Even though they dissolved, potentially that people are still looking at that as a big thing. Okay, first vote goes to Tony. Second vote goes to Laurel. Third vote goes to Denise.
For gaslighting.
Fourth vote goes to Denise. Fifth vote goes to Denise. Sixth vote goes to Tony. Seventh vote goes to Denise. Eighth vote goes to Laurel. Ninth vote goes to Laurel.
Okay.
10th vote goes to Tony. 11 vote goes to Tony. 1 vote left. And Denise is taken out for her conversation with Philip. Don't
Yeah.
gaslight Philip, everyone.
Don't gaslight in general on the show. You see,
Yeah.
it happened to Ellie. It's happened to Denise.
Uh, yeah, it even kind of happened to Carla. Carla tried to do that kind of similar thing with Cassidy, and it did not work. So,
No,
uh,
gaslighting is not okay.
yeah. Chris, Sari, Jesse, Sugar, and Troyzan voted Denise. Laurel, Parvati, Philip, and Sherry voted Tony, and Denise, Romeo, and Tony voted Laurel.
Yeah.
Okay, and Chris finds the Maku Maku tribe hidden immunity idol.
Nice.
Okay. Group number 1 is Chris, Jesse, Parvati, Philip, and Romeo. Group number 2 is Sari, Sugar, Sherry, Tony, and Troyzan. Laurel does not participate and cannot win rewards. As group number 1 wins reward, they win a picnic at the Yasawa Islands. And Sherry finds a secret advantage hidden at the challenge. This is a vote steal power.
That could come in handy.
Yeah.
Especially since you have an alliance of
And
5.
Parvati wins immunity.
Queen.
Wow, that's great. Jesse and Laurel have a small fight. Troyzan is impressing the rest of the team as Chris leaves the alliance.
Is he starting a new one?
No, Sari, Romeo, and Tony. This is I'm gonna call this the Tony Romeo alliance off of NFL player Tony Romo.
Okay.
I don't know if you know
And
Tony.
Sari is probably gonna, if her track record shows,
She's just gonna leave.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll really be left with Tony and Romeo. But we're gonna see because I don't know if you know football very much, but
I kind of will see some of the memes online from people back home, and then kind of fill in the blanks from there.
Got it. Well,
Um,
Tony Romo was a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys and was well known for being a famous choke artist. Anytime that they were in a very important game-winning scenario, he would always fumble the ball.
oh, okay.
So hopefully that they're able to not be Tony Romo level choke artists.
I mean, Tony has he's racked up a lot of votes the last time, so
Yeah,
he's not one of, I don't know. I
he's
feel
definitely a target,
Chris
but
may be also a target, but if he plays his idol right,
yeah,
because he's
true,
playing a
true.
pretty respectful game.
Yeah. Chris is definitely here to play. He wants to
Yeah,
be the first guy to win 2 times on our channel.
yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Chris uses the idol on Sugar. He saw Sugar use it correctly and is like, you know what? I'm gonna play it on her too. Maybe I'll be right.
We'll see.
First vote goes to Sugar, does not count. Second vote goes to Sugar, does not count. Third vote goes to Sugar, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Sugar, does not count. Fifth vote goes to Sari. Sixth vote goes to Tony. Seventh vote goes to Sari. Eighth vote goes to Tony. Ninth vote goes to Sari. 10th vote goes to Tony. 1 vote left. And Tony is voted out.
For the record, Chris did play that idol right.
He did. That is technically a correct idol play right there. Dang. So So let's see. Sri, Jesse, Romeo, and Tony voted Sugar. Laurel, Parvati, Philip, and Sherry voted Tony. Chris, Sugar, and Troyzan voted Sri.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're at 10. Halfway mark.
Okay. Do we want to do a thing here?
Feel
Another
we I feel we did one so recently, but I
yeah,
will say that Chris's gameplay is going really well. Parvati is, building up, she's building up her team, and um
Sugar, I think, is making moves here in the merge.
yeah, and Jesse, he's still in this despite all the things that were kind of against him.
Yeah,
Philip still has his legacy advantage. And right now he hasn't been a target, so he might have an easy play at 6.
exactly.
Unless something happens.
Yeah, we'll see, but yeah, I think Philip, he had that one little instance with Denise, but now that Denise
Yeah.
isn't there, I yeah, he very well could make a deep run here.
Yeah, and we still have our 3 winners.
True. Okay. So group number 1 is Chris, Sugar, Parvati, Romeo, and Troyzan. Group number 2 is Sari, Jesse, Laurel, Philip, and Sherry. And group number 1 wins reward. They win a trip to a luxury resort with a meal and an overnight stay.
Mm.
Good on them. Good on them. Who wins immunity? Sugar wins immunity.
Nice.
uh, her resume right now is looking pretty good, I gotta say.
Sweet.
She's played an idol correctly. She's gotten someone else to play an idol on her correctly, and she's won an immunity here.
Yeah, she has.
Okay, we're back here. Sugar just won immunity. We took a quick little break there, so yeah, let's get back into this.
Yeah. All right.
Romeo finds the Maku Maku tribe hidden immunity idol.
Okay. All right.
Good on Romeo. Parvati and Romeo have a major fight,
Cool.
and Parvati and Philip have a small fight.
Parv, this is not the
Have a
time.
good time. Laurel and Sherry have a minor disagreement.
So that alliance is just being
Yeah. And Sherry's completely worn out, but it's not giving up. So not a good look for Parvati this episode.
no.
We know what happened last time someone fought with or got into a dispute with Philip.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm nervous.
No one stands. First vote goes to Laurel. Second vote goes to Romeo. Third vote goes to Laurel. Fourth vote goes to Romeo. Fifth vote goes to Romeo. Sixth vote goes to Romeo. Seventh vote goes to Romeo. Eighth vote goes to Laurel. And
Yep.
Romeo is voted out with an idol in his pocket that he just found.
Dang. It was like the universe gave him a sign, but
And then he gets
some
into a fight
signs
with
need to be more
Parvati.
signy.
He got into a fight with Parvati. You don't do that on
Well,
even though
Parvati
Parvati got
also
into a
got in a
fight with
fight
two
with
people.
Philip, so like,
Yeah.
you know, we assumed we were dreading the fact that Parvati was going out here.
Yeah. Chris and Sari voted with Romeo here. Well, Tony and Romeo, who had formed an alliance, back to back
And
eliminated. And Chris finds the Maku Maku tribe hidden immunity idol.
the producers were like, we know you can play this, right?
Yeah, they're like, you know what? You did it right before. Let's just give it back
Yeah.
to you. Okay. Group number 1 is Chris, Sheree, Philip. Group number 2 is Jesse, Laurel, and Troyzan. Group number 3 is Sugar, Parvati, and Sherry. And group number one wins rewards, and they share the reward with Parvati and Laurel.
Nice.
Oh, this is the loved ones. They win an American barbecue with the loved ones.
Yay.
And Philip wins immunity.
All right.
Okay, the immunities have been really spread so far. There's sharing the loves on who's winning immunities. And Suri and Sherry bond slightly. And then Suri and Sherry have a minor disagreements about the thing they just bonded over.
It's something to do with a fandom, you know.
Yeah. And a new alliance forms between Chris and Sugar.
If an idol play didn't say enough already,
Yeah. Maybe
making it
you're
a
gonna just
fish.
play it again on her. Just like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna keep playing the idols on you.
Yeah. Don't swap the flow. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Okay. Sherry uses the vote steal power on Jesse. Jesse can no longer vote, and Sherry will vote one more time. And Chris uses the idol on Sugar.
All right.
Now, is this played correctly? First vote goes to Laurel.
No.
No. Dang. Second vote goes to Laurel. Third vote goes to Laurel. Fourth vote goes to Suri. Fifth vote goes to Laurel. Sixth vote goes to Suri. Seventh vote goes to Suri. Eighth vote goes to Suri. One vote left. And Suri is voted out.
She this wasn't her big standout season, so
Yeah.
you know,
She was
I
definitely
mean,
more of a background character this
yeah.
season. So Laurel, Parvati, Philip, Sherry, and Sherry voted twice. So Sherry, this was a good move on her.
Swung it.
This move actually got them to vote Sherry out.
All right.
Okay. Let's see who wins immunity. Troyzan wins immunity. This is now his second immunity.
Nice.
Sugar and Parvati have a major fight.
All right.
Sherry collapses from exhaustion and is medically evacuated from the game.
This is actually very bad for Parvati.
Yeah, that's her goat.
That
This
was
is
her goat.
oh, that could be yeah. Parvati could very well get eliminated next episode.
Oh, this sucks.
Wow.
Oh no. All right, this is the last one before the finale, and something major just happened.
Yeah.
Chris may it's shaping up that Chris could potentially win this.
Yeah.
Parvati just lost her biggest alliance member.
Yeah, right now, I think there's four people who have winner equity. I think Parvati does if she can somehow get to the end, but
Yeah,
she's got an uphill battle here. Chris, obviously, and then I think Jesse and Sugar also
yeah.
are people who,
I,
if they get to the end, could very well win.
I could throw Philip in there as well.
Yeah, yeah. Philip, maybe if he's with maybe Laurel and Troyzan.
We'll, we'll see.
Okay. Parvati finds the Magu Magu tribe hidden immunity idol. Great, great. Okay. And Jesse wins immunity.
Yeah,
He actually wins a challenge.
yeah.
Chris and Parvati have a small fight. Laurel and Philip have a minor disagreement. And a new alliance forms between Chris, Jesse, Laurel, and Philip.
This could be eliminated if also Weird Sugar's not there, but
Yeah.
the, if Parvati plays her idol right, she can get rid of Chris.
Yeah, she might just make the big move against Chris right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Parvati uses the idol on Troyzan.
Was this smart?
First vote goes to Troyzan, does not count. Second vote goes to Troyzan, does not count. Third vote goes to Philip. Fourth vote goes to Laurel. Fifth vote goes to Laurel. Sixth vote goes to Sugar. Seventh vote goes to Philip. We're tied. We're going to rocks.
So Troyzan and oh, okay. So Troyzan is immune. We also have Philip, who is immune. We have Laurel, who is immune. And of course, Jesse, who won immunity, is immune.
So Parvati, who just played an idol on Troyzan, could get rocked out.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, we're losing a big player right here. These are three people who very well could win if they get to the end. And we're about to lose one of them off of a rock draw.
Oh, there it is.
And Chris, the game has spoken.
Dang.
Oh. Well, Parvati, I guess, technically makes the move against Chris. This is one of those
Risky
she
move, but a
plays
move
the idol
nonetheless.
correctly, but also not correctly because she almost went home because of it.
Yeah, I mean, because Troyzan would have actually it was incorrectly because Troyzan would have gotten immunity anyway because of the tied vote.
Yeah, exactly.
So she just needs to find it again if she wants to use it.
Yeah. So let's see how these votes went. Chris and Sugar voted Laurel. Parvati and Troyzan voted Philip. And Jesse and Philip voted Troyzan as Sugar. Laurel was the only one to vote for Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are now at the finale. Let's do our final assessment before we move on. I mean, I'm still in the same boat. I think Jesse, Sugar, and Parvati are the ones to look out for.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count Philip out maybe as a, as like maybe like a long shot kind of winner.
He's guaranteed 5 right now.
Yeah. Um, there is no guaranteed fire making,
Yeah.
so there's a few variables to play into this. We should also say that we have two greatest of all times and four goats. So read into that what you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's a good for the greatest of all times because if you can just sit next to two goats, you have a good chance of pulling out the win.
yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, Philip has the legacy advantage. Let's see who wins immunity. Parvati wins immunity and shares it. Chicken parmesan spaghetti with meatballs, garlic bread, and key lime pie with Troyzan and Sugar.
All right. So Parv is immune.
Yeah.
Philip is immune.
Philip collapses from exhaustion and is medically evacuated from the game.
That is so screwed up. That is screwed up.
Wow. Okay. So at 6, Philip now gets medevac. At 7, Chris got rocked out. And then at 8, Sherry got medevac. We've had 3 eliminations where people haven't even been voted out, like really voted out.
This is bizarre. That is so screwed up.
What is this end game of Survivor right now?
What's in the what's in the water or something where people are just collapsing from exhaustion? I'm more concerned about that.
They're not boiling the water properly. And then Phil gives the legacy advantage to Laurel for some reason.
I guess just cuz.
Wow. Okay, and just like that, Philip is out. We're guaranteed Jesse, Sugar, or Parvati now making the ends.
One of them, yes.
Yeah.
Unless someone else collapses of exhaustion.
Yeah. And Sugar wins immunity. That's her second immunity right there. And Jesse finds the Maku
Oh,
Maku tribe hidden immunity idol.
did they take out Parv here?
This is
That
very
makes the
much looking.
most sense.
Sugar leaves the alliance with Parvati and Troyzan. Troyzan is completely worn
Okay,
out, but is not giving up.
okay, okay. There's something in the water.
Yeah, there's something wrong with this season so far. Someone has tampered with their living situation. Okay, so Sugar's safe. Jesse's got the idol. So we're either looking at a Laurel Party or Troyzan. I don't know why they would take out Laurel or Troyzan. I think it's Parvati here.
Only reason I can see them take out Troyzan is because of immunity threat, but I really don't think that's the best way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Parvati is just as capable as Troyzan, even though Troyzan has one more immunity win over her.
Yeah.
Jesse uses his idol, of course. First vote goes to Jesse, does not count. Second vote goes to Jesse, does not count. Third vote goes to Parvati, and Parvati is taken out at final five.
So we will have a new winner on our channel.
Yes, guaranteed now.
Um, I hope it's Jesse. He's definitely earned it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's either Jesse or Sugar, I think. Um, it's now a question of are they going to get to the end together? Or are they one of them going to take each other out here?
It's tough to say.
Okay, let's see who wins final immunity of the season. And Laurel
Oral.
wins
Okay.
final immunity.
So Jesse's not in that big alliance.
Yeah, and we see Sugar and Laurel bond slightly here.
So unfortunately, this might be where Jesse goes. And then we have a GOAT finale.
Great.
All right, let's rip the band-aid off.
Yeah. Okay. First vote goes to Sugar. Second vote goes to Jesse. Third vote goes to Jesse. One vote left. Fourth vote goes to Sugar.
Fire.
We are tied.
Just
We are
Jesse redeem
going to
himself
fire.
in the Brand Steels.
Yeah. Is Jesse going to actually be able to make fire? Did he learn from his time against Mike Gaylor? Did Mike Gaylor give him some secrets after the season?
We'll see.
Sugar, the tribe has spoken. Jesse
All
makes it
right.
the final three.
Okay.
Who voted with Jesse here? Laurel.
Oh,
Laurel voted with
after
Jesse.
bonding.
Wow. Sugar, maybe she saw through it. Maybe she was like, she's trying to bond with me now just because I control her fates.
Oh, all right. So Jesse's got to win this.
Yeah, this has to be Jesse. First vote goes to Troyzan. Second vote goes to Jesse. Third vote goes to Troyzan. Fourth vote goes to Jesse. Fifth vote goes to Troyzan. Sixth vote goes to Jesse. Seventh vote goes to Troyzan. Eighth vote goes to Jesse. Ninth vote goes to Troyzan. 10th and final vote goes to Jesse. We are tied. You know what this means?
The Laurel's in this position again.
Oh my gosh.
What? Laurel's in the same position.
Oh my god. The exact same vote count too, a 5-5 split. And Laurel has to decide. Oh my god, there is a tie. The third place castaway. Okay. Laurel, who are you voting for to win? Laurel votes for Jesse. Jesse is the winner. Yes. Heck yeah.
Well, who? I'm pretty sure Parvati voted for Troyzan.
Yeah, let's see here. So Chris, Denise, Philip, Romeo, and Tony voted Jesse. Sari, Mick, Parvati, Sherry, and Sugar voted Troyzan.
All right.
And Laurel wins the fan favorite award.
You got to give her something for being in this position twice.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy that she somehow yet again is the third place finisher who gets to decide who wins in the
Yeah.
season. Uh, so Jesse wins there. I mean, I'm surprised that Troyzan got as many votes as Jesse, though.
Yeah.
That is definitely a shocker. God, but this, these three, this completely changed the end game of the season.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like the fact that Sherry goes home here, I think probably makes it so Parvati has to go home here at 5. Um, Chris going out by Rox, who was playing a power game and was really controlling a lot of things. Philip going home, he was someone who was guaranteed 5 and probably would have then probably been sitting where Troyzan is
Yeah.
if he doesn't go home there.
Man.
Wow. Yeah, I think Jesse and Parvati really needed crazy shenanigans here in order for them to have a chance to make it to the end, and Jesse managed to pull it out.
That he did.
Okay. Let's check out some other statistics here. Parvati was the most strategic, followed by Laurel, followed by Philip.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense because Jesse, even like he was on the out so much. Like he
Yeah.
was really playing the underdog game. Um, okay. Parvati also had the most challenge wins total with 2 immunities,
Nice.
and 3 rewards. So good on her. Cool. And yeah, that's that season there. Troyzan had the least amount of votes. Maybe he honestly, Troyzan probably just had a really good final tribal where he actually doesn't
Social
say,
game.
hey, yeah, he says, hey, I know I'm not winning this. He was actually like, hey, I am winning this. I was not being targeted. Look at this. I have the least amount of votes out of everyone. So
Yeah. All right. Well, that is greatest of all times versus goats. Thankfully, greatest of all time won because I was, I would have understood the irony of it all, but in our hearts, we're glad that one, Jesse won, and two, it was someone with an actual good player, um, that we consider a good player won. So yay.
yeah, exactly. And he finally got to overcome his fire making hurdle. He won an immunity challenge also, so he got to kind of correct a few wrongs that happened in
Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
So
All
yeah,
right.
that's going to do it for this one. Hope you liked it. Remember, everyone, vote down below your top 3 of the season. And yeah, let's get some whoever you thought was good. I know for All Stars 14, someone even put Tyson to as one of their picks, and he went out third.
Democracy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's something to look out there for. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one where we will be doing Disney versus Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon.
That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. So we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.